If you grow Echinacea, also known as coneflower, in your garden, or you've been thinking about it, you might be surprised to learn how easy it is to turn these flowers and this entire plant into a powerful tincture you can use all season long. Today I'm going to show you exactly how I harvest and make my own Echinacea tincture from my own garden-grown plants. I'll walk you through what parts of the plant I use, the kind of alcohol I choose, and why I switched from vodka to Everclear. And I'll share how I personally use this tincture at the first sign of a cold. In fact, I've found this so effective that I rarely make elderberry syrup anymore. It's become my go-to for cold season support. Whether you're brand new to Echinacea or you've been growing it for years, I hope this gives you some ideas and inspiration for using more of what you grow. A few years ago, I started these Echinacea plants from seed, not really knowing how they would do. And truthfully, they didn't look like much for the first couple of years. But once they hit their second full season, they really took off. And that's when I made my first tincture. The first thing you need to know about Echinacea plants is that they do take a while to grow, especially if you start them from seed. And because the most powerful tinctures are made out of the root, as well as the leaves and the flowers, you can make it out of all of it, but the root is really where most of the powerful properties are. You have to take out the entire plant. And because not only did I want Echinacea for the tincture, but I also wanted it for the beauty and for the way that they attract pollinators, I didn't want to completely wipe out everything that I had planted. I waited then until my second year to harvest one plant. I left the others to continue self-seeding. You can see all of this actually came from 2 plants because they'll self-seed year after year. And they've become so prolific at self-seeding, I have transplanted them to different areas of the garden. But all that to say, it does take some patience to get your Echinacea to the point where you can harvest them. And I'm going to show you how I do that right now. I'm going to start with harvesting one plant from the back of this bed, mainly because I don't want to interfere with how beautiful these plants are from the front side of the garden. And plus, there are some plants that are really close together, so it really doesn't take a lot out of the whole batch just to take out one plant. And one plant goes a really long way. So I'm going to choose one here that's a little bit closer to the others. And we just had a big rain, so I may not need my shovel. So I'm going to see if I can tug it. Nope, it's pretty firm in there. This one in particular is around my drip system, so I'm going to have to take it piece by piece. Next, I'm going to wash off the plant, especially with the roots where there's all the dirt. And the roots are going to be what I'm going to use the most. The roots are where most of those great properties are. Now, I am harvesting this in the spring, in the early summer, but the best time to actually harvest these is in the fall after the blooms have faded, because that's when the roots have more of the qualities that we want. But I am low on Echinacea tincture right now, so that's why I'm doing this in the spring, because I need it before the fall comes. Now what I can do after I start steeping, I can harvest again in the fall and just add it to the mixture. Now I'm getting ready to prepare the tincture. If you're looking at doing this kind of Echinacea tincture, you may wonder what type you need to get. There are several types of Echinacea commonly used for tinctures. Echinacea purpurea is the most common, and that's what I'm growing. You can also opt for Echinacea angustifolia and Echinacea pallida. Now, while you can find Echinacea at many different garden centers, many of those are ornamental hybrids bred for flower color or form and not for their medicinal properties. Not only might these hybrids have lower or unknown levels of active compounds, but there's also the potential concern of pesticide or fungicide use during commercial production. If you're making a tincture, especially one that you will take internally, it's best to grow these from seed or source organically grown straight species of Echinacea, like Echinacea purpurea, to ensure both purity and potency of what you're making. So I'm focusing on the roots right now, but after I get all the roots done, then I'll fill the rest with the stems, the leaves, and the flowers. Actually makes quite a pretty thing to have in your house when you've got the flowers also steeping. My goal here is to fill most of this up with plant material. I'm roughly looking at about 1 cup of plant material per every 2 cups of the Everclear that I'll be using, which I'll share with you that in just a minute. But basically it's a 1-to-2 ratio. I don't measure it. I just kind of eyeball it, figuring that if I fill this up with the plant material, then there's probably about that much airspace. But if you want to get precise, you totally can. And as you can see, I'm not going to use everything I harvested, but I definitely wanted to get those roots. Next, I'm just going to take this Everclear. It's 190 proof, and I'm going to add it to my plant material right here. I used to make my tinctures with regular 80 proof vodka. It worked perfectly fine, but I've since switched over to this 190 proof Everclear because that higher alcohol content helps draw out more of the medicinal compounds, especially when you're using fresh plant material that contains water already. So the water that's already in the fresh plant material is going to dilute this alcohol just a little bit further. That's why a stronger proof also helps. So ultimately, with the Everclear, I'm going to get a stronger extraction to be able to get the highest quality product as I possibly can. The main thing I want to do is make sure that all the plant material is fully submerged. The first time I started using this tincture with the 190 proof Everclear, I felt a strong tingling on my tongue, unlike I'd ever had with Echinacea Tincture. I wasn't quite sure what to make of that at first, but after doing a little research and digging, I learned that this is actually a sign of something called alkylamides, which are compounds in Echinacea that are believed to activate the immune system. The tingling is often seen as an indicator that the plant's active constituents are present in the tincture. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to store this in a cool, dark place. It's going to be in an interior room. You can also do a closet, and you're supposed to shake it every few days and then let it steep for about 4 to 6 weeks. Now you can let it go for longer. It's not going to be a problem at all, but at least after 4 to 6 weeks, you can then strain off the liquid from the Echinacea, compost that, and then put it in a dark jar like this, a dark amber type bottle, and it will last for years. Tinctures last a really long time. After I do this, I keep this on hand, and personally, at the first sign of a cold or a scratchy throat, I take about a teaspoon of this tincture, me as a healthy adult, and I keep taking it every few hours. Almost every time I've used it, the cold seems to pass faster, just a day or two, and once or twice, including just recently, I've found myself feeling better within hours. That was definitely an anomaly, but it's something that I feel like helped because I took it right away. The thought is that taking this early on ramps up your immune system and helps your body fight whatever you're dealing with. Of course, this is just my experience. I am not a medical professional. I'm not a doctor. I'm not an herbalist. So please understand that. But it's something that I have used for many years, and I have seen it work. It's one of the ways I've come to really appreciate the beauty of this amazing plant beyond just the garden. Now, one more thing, I will warn you, this tincture tastes terrible. In fact, my kids have tasted it, and most of the time they choose to be sick for a couple of days. It's that bad. And I'm talking about teenagers. I'm not even talking about little kids at all. But all that to say, be prepared that you're not going to like it. I usually have some kind of flavored drink to chase it down. Orange juice does really well because of the acidity. It usually chases down the flavor pretty well. But I'll often use something like an electrolyte drink that will help as well. Just be forewarned that it's not going to taste good. But if you start to see the difference that it makes in getting over something quickly, I think you'll come to the realization I did that it's worth it. So I'm curious, do you make your own tinctures? If so, what do you make and what do you use them for? And do you grow Echinacea? Whether you grow it for beauty, because they are gorgeous, or for the pollinators, because they will be all over those flowers, or you use it for your own use, Echinacea is one of those garden plants that keeps giving. Thanks so much for spending time with me in the garden as I make what hopefully will last me and my family a couple of years of cold and flu seasons. And if this is a subject you would like to explore further, you may enjoy my marshmallow harvest video here. Marshmallow is a staple in my medicine cabinet for when a cold lingers, especially with a sore throat. Enjoy.